Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Between Two Props. Currently joined by Wheeling University head women's rugby coach Ken Pape. And Ken, the Rugby Purge officially started last Friday against Ohio State. You guys walk away with a 30-5 win. Talk about that first match and what it was like to be out there and just competing.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, we got to finally see what we have in a game situation. You know, you can always rep against these, your own team and things like that, but they know what you're doing. Everybody knows what each other's doing. So to get out the first run out against a quality opponent in Ohio State, hats off to them and our coaching staff with Megan. They were well prepared. They knew what we were going to bring. It was great to see the action. All the things I've been excited for all off season, to finally see those pieces come into play it was really fun.
And you ended up falling behind early as Ohio State gets that first try, but then come back with 30 unanswered points. Talk about your girls' feeling at that time when you went down and how they were able to kind of battle back and get back that lead.
Yeah, so that first try by Ohio State was scary, right? So it was like within the first 5 minutes of the game. We had given up a penalty, back-to-back penalties, and then they took a nice little quick tap, and they dotted through for a score. The team went under the post and had a quick conversation. Our captains were really good and calm. We have a process that we go through when we give up points, and they execute that process. Everybody calmed down. And the captains told them flat out, like, hey, listen, this is not us. We're better than this. They're not better than us. They haven't shown us anything we can't handle. Get out there. Emma Ty in leadership. Emma Ty got out there and said, ladies, let's just make our hits. And that's what they did.
And speaking of Emma Ty, big day for her. 2 tries on the day, 10 total points. First multi-try effort in program history. Talk about her and what kind of made her go that way that she did.
Yeah, she chose violence. She had opportunities where she could have given up the ball a little bit. But Emma Ty told me after the game she wanted to set the tone for what we were going to be about. And she came out of the gates early. She caught a couple early passes, broke through the line, was just trucking over Buckeyes left and right. Scoring those 2 tries was massive for us. The team saw her put in that big effort, and they just followed her around the field and did everything they could to keep up.
And then talk about your defense's effort. Obviously, they let that first try go, but then after that, shut them down for the final 75 minutes of the game. Talk about what it took to be resilient and be able to kind of hold them off the board the rest of that time.
Yeah, in rugby, there's a couple of metrics that I like to count on. The first metric is how many tackles did my fullback have to make. The fullback, I think, made 1 tackle the whole game. Okay, Bella Galata made a big hit on the sideline, to save a try from going in. Outside of that, we were a very stout defense. We were undisciplined in some areas of the game, giving up some penalties, and that defensive effort is what we work on. A lot of teams don't do as much contact. We do contact every single game, every single practice, every single day. We come out and we hit hard. And after the game, the Ohio State coach gave us props for coming out of the gates early and hitting hard. That defensive effort was huge. And to see them build that wall of defense and nobody get through was pretty awesome.
Watching Between Two Props, currently joined by Wheeling University women's rugby coach Ken Pape. And Ken, now that you have that first match out of your way, you're coming home for a long stretch here. You have 4 matches in a row on Bishop Schmidt Field. Talk about what that's going to be like to be on that home pitch for the first time competing.
Yeah, so we're very, very excited about it. We've got a couple of cool things, cutting little hidden gems that we're going to roll out. It is a promotion game, this September 7th game against Emory and Henry. First 100 fans coming in are going to get a purge mask. We're going to now build our history. We're going to build our, routines and things like that here at home. And, every time we score, we're going to play the purge music and, we're going to put our masks on and, things like that, and bagpipers, and it's just we're putting on a show, right? We want people to want to come out and see what we're all about, and I think they're really going to like the product they see come September 7th against Emory and Henry when the purge continues.
And now that you have that first match under your belt, talk about some of the things you learned from that match against Ohio State that you're going to work to improve on as the weeks go by.
Well, see, that's the great thing about rugby, right? So we played, a very tough competitive match. We got the film analyzed. I've spent the last 3-4 days inside the film room, breaking it down. Sat with the captains, went over the game film with them, went over the playmakers on the team, watched the film with them. The things that I think that we needed to work on have been now. We're able to look at empirical data to support this is what we need to work on, and that we've built the practice plan for this week based off of those things. We're still going to tweak the things that we did really well. We're going to still look after those things, but those work-ons, those are the keys for this week and the preparation coming up.
And finally, matchup this week against Emory and Henry, first ever home match in program history. Talk about this matchup and kind of what you're looking for from your girls out there.
Well, hey, Emory and Henry's is a program that's been around for a lot of years, coached by one of the best, Doc O'Neill. Doc is one of the best in the business. Swell guy. We get on really well. Talking to him through the weekend, they had a really great match against MEC opponent Frostburg. It was 7-5 through the first 3 quarters of the game. Emory and Henry's, they're a varsity program just like we are, the NCAA. They're coming out of the gates. They got something to prove. They're coming off a tough loss against Frostburg. So we don't expect this to be a light game. We're going to come out and we're going to do our bits and bots. But, having this game at home against a quality opponent in Emory and Henry is going to mean the world, right? The fans are finally going to get to see women's rugby here at Wheeling University, and they'll get to see that we can bring just as much pain as the men can.
Thanks, Ken. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. The purge continues.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
We're just excited about all the program success.
We want to do what we need to do.
Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.